I am Suwarna Surlakar, founder of FunMinds Learning Tech Private Limited. We are based out of Goa and company founded in Goa itself. Just after I finished my masters, the next thing is you want to look out for a job. And that time the hype was teaching, so we got into teaching. I started up with using, though my background was information technology, I took up subjects like electronics. I also taught engineering drawing. And that gave me a lot of exposure in understanding students and their mentality. Basically how they look at information technology or computer subjects. So when they got into engineering, their focus was, I want to get a good job. But even the kids who got into computer engineering thinking they had fascination for computers, the moment they saw codes, they had that fear, how I would do it further, what else I can skip coding and go somewhere else, just like how you had that fear for maths. And since maths and coding go hand in hand, the logic which is needed to be developed, that's where you lack in understanding of coding. Coding is not really difficult, it's just another language that we would speak. Maybe pick up French or German that we would learn the same way you would learn the coding language. I realized that students needed to get rid of this fear and understand the fundamentals before they actually go onto a computer and start learning. So after this, when I quit my job, I thought I'll start teaching them early. So I started with my son, who was then 5-year-old, and I told him, I said, do you know this? He said he was too excited to do some things with lights and understand, the glow and batteries and all. So then I switched a little higher and went up to 7-year-old. So I got a few kids together and I started teaching them turtle programming. So when I saw that, their fascination was not into writing or typing. Their fascination was, what will I see that turtle doing and moving around? So that created an excitement and they learned. Best thing what they learned there was the maths part, addition, subtraction, which they were finding difficult. So the parents told me that they may not be good at coding at this stage, but they have definitely done good at math at that time. So then it struck me that, as you always said that coding and maths goes hand in hand, that was kind of proven for me there. And then when I went further with the age group, I went with 10 years, 12 years, and I had two initial students, Viraj Marathe and Gajesh Naik. So these were my first two students, and one more, Hamza. So these were three rather. So when they came into robotics and coding, they were focused because their maths was good, because they knew what they had to do next. And they were completely known, and they were like, they knew what they had to do next. So they went ahead, they studied nicely, they did everything religiously. They used to come. In fact, Viraj used to travel from Sankli to Panjim for the classes every day post his school hours. So 2 o'clock he used to finish his school, and 3 o'clock he used to be in my office from Sankli. Now he is represented Lego in Thailand. So not that I helped him do the Lego now, but he was focused on how to do, and since his fundamentals were clear. So the same thing happened with Gajesh. He went on to study cryptocurrency, and he is also well known for understanding crypto nowadays. So same thing, we tried into a group model for schools then. So we did that, and we gave them props, anything like straws, sticks, anything that we found around in the ground. And when that happened, we were like, this is working. And as a service, we thought we would pursue it further, but COVID came. And we realized that as a service, we cannot move everywhere. And what we want to see as a result in the kids may not be possible. During the COVID, we took all the time during lockdown to convert the whole physical set of games into box games, which would fit into the box but still teach the same thing or give the same outputs, and especially the learning outcomes. So when this happened, we made a few games and we wanted to test them again. So we again took those games out, did some workshops with the students and saw whether they are working. And we were amazed to see that not only just their that group working abilities were improvising, so also were their maths abilities which were improvising. In schools, what we do is we give them an assignment and they come back with that assignment, right? In kids, what we do, we give them material and they come back with things. We did not think of a name at all till we thought of, we had to register today. And then we went through a lot of brainstorming to understand what would best suit our, brain work and the fun work. Because we didn't want to keep it only about coding. It's fun. We want them to have fun while learning. That's the only way you can best learn. See, what happens is, even when I started before FunMinds, I was copied and I had to change the whole model into something else. And I always had those good people around me who told me that because it's copied, it's good. You have a validation, go ahead. You'll get more validation from the person who's copying you. So I was like, yes, that's true. And I moved. When I had my first fallback that my director itself was leaving, my first founding partner who was there with me, who founded the company, I was literally heartbroken. And I had this friend who said, what are you missing if she's going? What are you missing? Can't you do it for a while alone? And then I was like, no, I'm not stopping this no matter what. I will go ahead. So as a startup, what matters is, do you really want to keep going? That's all it matters. You will face a lot of challenges, and without challenges, there's nothing. Even your job is full of challenges. But in a job, what happens? You want to switch. In a startup, it's your baby. You can't give up on your baby. Convincing parents, yes. Even till date, we need to convince parents that this is going to be the next generation jobs that is going to help in. And with the introduction of new education policy and government giving trainings to schools in coding and robotics, it has become a buzzword for us now. Since Goa, like I said, the ecosystem is growing at the same pace as we are growing, it will take time, and parents will also convince at a point. But if we look at only Goan market, we will kill ourselves. So we have to look at the pan-India market, or the market which will prove us first and then come back to Goa. So about Fire, when I first wanted to start my idea, it wasn't FunMinds, but it was something where I wanted to start the training and I wanted to bring that whole fear out of the kids and all. So first thing I went and I spoke to Prashant. And that time Fire was not there, it wasn't born. And there was Venu. So Prashant guided me to Venu, told me sit, and that's when I understood what was business canvas. The first time I said, he told me to do this. I'm like, I know these things, why is he making me do all these things again? But when I started putting things on paper, I realized you needed a lot of in-depth thinking. It's not just that, you know where you're going to make money, you know whom you're going to sell to, you know that through whom you're going to sell to. There are a lot of in-depth things, why, how, what, when, and what of the other side. So unless you do this, you don't have a full-fledged model. Then was the birth of Fire, where I got a lot of mentors, and I always spoke to Prashant no matter how, wherever I'm stuck and how bad the challenge is. See, there's nothing wrong in starting just after the college. If you know your idea is solid, if you know that it is going to see the day of the light someday, whether it's 10 years, 5 years, you got to stick to it. One thing, you have to stick to it. Second is, if you are an experienced person or if you are a startup and you have somebody who's experienced with you, this combination will also help you to see the growth. Because startups is not about that I'm going to start writing websites to everybody, or I'm going to build this app and everybody should use it. When you actually go into the market, you realize that will people really buy this from you? And place yourself as a buyer for your own product and ask yourselves, will you buy this? Will you put the hands in your pocket to pay out for this app or for this product? Why? Will you buy it at this cost? or does it need to be slow or lesser or higher? Or what is it? Even Ford, when they came up with EcoSport, they priced it so low, and within 3 months they changed the pricing of the car. So it's not that you always know what's the right pricing or you always know your right customer. It comes through experience. The point is, you have to keep going and keep looking for this. Meanwhile, if you onboard experienced people, that will really help you understanding the bigger picture faster.